Good morning, everyone. This is your Hall of Famer, Director Marlon Green, urging you to stay positive in a world that's mostly negative. You have something else to watch now. Forget them. This segment is called Americans Really Don't Like Veterans. And here's why. The reason why I know that America does not like us veterans, and as a matter of fact, they act like they hate their veterans. Like Jack Nicholson says, you can't handle the truth, but this time, instead of a Marine in uniform telling you, a veteran of U.S. Army Airborne is telling you. Y'all in America got your heads up your ass, and you need to do a better job at family issues, okay? And the reason why I know that, Americans don't like veterans is because everywhere you go, they are bait and switch. In other words, they exploit us because they know we get checks, and they know that we be getting incomes, and so a lot of people tries to take advantage of that, and this goes on more than you might think, because being a veteran is a struggle, because what they don't tell you is all of the abuses that we go through being a veteran. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. When I was in the military, I never got disciplined for any bad behavior. And when I was in high school, I never really got in trouble for no bad behavior. I got in a couple of fights defending myself. That's about it. Not no acting the fool. You know what I'm saying? And when I was in elementary, I ain't never got in no whole lot of trouble. You know? And so like my behavior is consistent, but the leaders of today, their behavior is all over the place. And they let these people abuse us veterans because they'll spend money on Israel before they'll spend money on veterans. And they'll let them or other people bomb things and they wouldn't acknowledge. And so you saying that you don't care about veterans. You know what I'm saying? And then you might get, benefits, but they find ways to take it back. And a lot of these VA and veterans employees are abusive towards veterans. And so they don't like veterans in the courts. Every court that I went to representing Veterans Affairs, whether it be forcing the courts to accept pauper's forms, because the pauper's forms are the forms that allow you to take things to court based on the settlement. Okay, so you don't have to pay up front, but that's certain criteria that you have to meet. Okay, most veterans meet this criteria, but less than 1/2 or 1% get this benefit granted. And so some judges, they think that they can just sit on the paperwork 5 days, 10 days, 30 days after they get the paperwork. That's not the truth. They supposed to have that shit stamped before it even get to the judge, read and deciphered, and respond as soon as possible. If a plaintiff calls the judge's chambers for an update, he's supposed to get it. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who calls the judge's chambers and can't get direct information off their own cases, more than likely the judge is doing something wrong. And so there are good veterans organizations that do well by veterans, and I'm gonna name a couple of them. Span Transportation. I know Span Transportation in northern Texas area that serve disabled and handicapped people. They do very well and with their transportation services, and I know and they get good grades. Catholic Charities in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they do good work, and a couple of more organizations, the churches, faith-based, they doing their job, although the numbers are small, and that's just a couple of them. I'm not gonna the electrical utility company TCOC that serve veterans and disabled people. They're really good, and people like that. But a lot of the rest of these people don't like veterans. Oh, Chase is good to veterans. Free checking, free savings. So Chase is good to veterans. Who else are good to veterans? The Wounded Warriors, even though that's exclusively a veterans advocates application, they do very well. Habitat of Humanity, they do very well, both building houses and providing houses for veterans and their families. And so these are a couple of the good organizations, and I'm not going to waste my time reciting the bad organizations. But a lot of these judges in these courts, they don't like us veterans. They shortchange us. They mislead us, and some of them ignore evidence, and some of them are just straight tell the no truth at all, which is contrary to their position. You know what I'm saying? They should make the judges swear an oath before the jury and the audience also, because they don't have to swear in. They think that they don't have to comply, and everybody else does. They really don't like veterans. You know what I'm saying? People like Steve Harvey, Dr. Watkins, they can borrow our ideas, but they won't acknowledge, you know, where they get this from, where they get that from. And these guys should know better because they are academic scholars. They got degrees, and so they know that it's all about works cited and giving credit where credit due. Right now, I'm the only one doing digital works cited off of YouTube, so you can see where I get it from. I give credit where credit due, and it's just ridiculous, man. I'm going through a lot of hardships with my new college that I enrolled. All kinds of bugs in the system, and all kind of obstacles going on in my life. Man, they should be able to release financial aid disbursements before a whole month, man, because I was depending on that to catch up on my car payments and pay a few medical bills and some loans off, and they making the shit go way till September 28th, the last drop date, but you can't add anything. I don't like that. And so I'm going to be calling the student life and the dean of student services, and we're going to try to get that changed too, because damn, because where I'm from in Louisiana, it don't take that long to get financial aid disbursements, because a lot of us students use those loans to pay our rent, and then we might not be able to get work study right away, especially if there's a glitch or lag in the system. And we already be struggling with other things in our life, and then academic struggling is just intolerable. So there's a lot of things that are going on at my new college. We're suggesting new changes. Like, I'm used to buying books off Audible and Amazon. Well, when I bought the online books at my new college, you can't through McGraw Technologies. McGraw Hill has a portal, and you could get to a lot of the material through the portal. But what happened was I took mostly online classes, and they didn't tell me not many of the obstacles that I face. A lot of the policies are hard to find, and then like the syllabuses are not consistently available, meaning some instructors want they have their syllabus that's updated, and some of them are not, and so some of them want you only to respond in the portal, and that's kind of restrictive for students because we got Gmail, we got Yahoo, and we got Net Zero, and we got America Online, and they telling us they only want mail through the portal, which the portal slows everything down. I don't know if every one of y'all know, when you go through a portal, that's a lot of data that's being managed through that portal, and it's kind of slow. So if you got an inconsistent internet connection, you're gonna be all day. You're gonna be waiting on answers for minutes instead of seconds. You know what I'm saying? And that shit. I can't sit up for no 2 and 3 and no 4 hours studying anymore because I have a neck injury, and these bulging discs, they tap your energy. They make you much tighter, and people don't understand when they take their time and you in pain and shit. It's very difficult. So you have to always be aware of other people's issues. And so I'm coordinating that with the Students with Disability Service, and I'm always progressive. I was in the rhythm lately because a lot of people was acting funny and shit, and a lot of people be acting jealous. And I met this nice Air Force lady at my college, and she had some of the same issues I did, and she said she think it was the Lord, and they mention the Lord a lot, but we'll see what happens. But what the bottom line is, we fixing these problems. This is my first semester, and I'm trying to contact the student government, the student deans, the dean of student services department. Already we getting things done. And so I like my new environment, and but it's still a rough, an abrasive transition because dealing with all of these technical challenges like the portal, they only want, what they should do, what I suggested is every online instructor, when soon as you get a list of all of your students, you should automatically have them sent your email in the syllabus, because the syllabus have not been updated in some cases, and the policies on the website have not been updated in a while. And so one of the ways to avoid that is to every person that gets online confirmation automatically gets the syllabus and instructor's email, so that they don't get caught by surprise. Because if I would have known McGraw-Hill, you can't download their content and material and own it, and then if you don't have a reliable connection, you don't get the material. You got to log in 2 and 3 and 4 places to get to the syllabus and the instructions, when on Amazon and Audible you just click buy and download and you got it on your device. And McGraw-Hill, you gotta go through the student portal. You gotta log in twice. You gotta go into Canvas. You gotta go all of this shit. That's at least double the steps than Amazon and Audible, and that's intolerable, especially in a learning environment where speed is crucial. Because I can't be sitting up 4, 5, and 6 hours anymore studying. I gotta take breaks often, and the injuries that I have is quite significant. The average person cannot handle it. They think African Americans are indestructible, but they're not. They think African Americans are indestructible and don't need medical care, but we are not. And we are not indestructible.